Module 1, Introduction to Business Research. 1.1, Understanding Business Research. Overview of business research and its significance for startups. Business research is a systematic and objective process of gathering, recording, and analyzing data for making business decisions. It is a crucial tool for startups, providing insights that can guide strategic planning, market positioning, product development, and more. The dynamic and uncertain environment of startups necessitates a strong foundation in research to reduce risks and increase the likelihood of success. Startups often operate with limited resources, making efficient and effective decision-making critical. Business research helps identify opportunities, understand customer needs, analyze competitors, and monitor market trends. For example, through market research, a startup can determine if there is sufficient demand for a new product or service, identify target demographics, and understand the competitive landscape. This information is vital for crafting a value proposition that resonates with potential customers and for making informed strategic decisions. Moreover, business research enables startups to validate their assumptions and hypotheses. Startups are typically built on innovative ideas that need validation to ensure they are feasible and desirable. Research provides empirical evidence that can confirm or refute these ideas, thereby preventing costly mistakes and guiding the startup towards more viable business models. Linking research to business decision-making. The link between business research and decision-making is direct and profound. Research provides the data and insights necessary to make informed decisions that are not based on intuition or guesswork but on solid evidence. Here's how business research influences various aspects of decision-making in startups. Strategic planning. Research helps in understanding the external environment, including market trends, competitive dynamics, and regulatory conditions. This knowledge is critical for developing strategic plans that are realistic and achievable. Product development. Through research, startups can gather feedback on product concepts, identify customer needs and preferences, and test prototypes. This iterative process ensures that the final product meets market demands and reduces the risk of failure. Marketing strategies. Research provides insights into customer behavior, preferences, and buying patterns. Startups can use this information to develop targeted marketing strategies, optimize pricing, and create compelling promotional campaigns. Operational efficiency. Business research can identify inefficiencies in operations and suggest improvements. For instance, process analysis and benchmarking studies can reveal areas where the startup can reduce costs and enhance productivity. Financial planning. Research helps in understanding market conditions and financial trends, which are essential for making sound financial decisions, such as pricing, budgeting, and investment planning. In essence, business research transforms data into actionable insights, enabling startups to make decisions that are data-driven, strategic, and aligned with their goals. 1.2, Research Design. Different types of research designs. Research design is the framework or blueprint for conducting the research project. It details the procedures necessary for obtaining the information needed to structure or solve research problems. The choice of research design depends on the research question, objectives, and the type of data required. There are three primary types of research designs: exploratory, descriptive, and causal. Exploratory research design. This design is used when the research problem is not well understood, and the goal is to explore the issue to gain insights and understanding. It is flexible and unstructured, often involving qualitative data collection methods like interviews, focus groups, and literature reviews. For startups, exploratory research can help in identifying potential opportunities, understanding market needs, and generating new ideas. Descriptive research design. Descriptive research aims to describe characteristics of a population or phenomenon. It is more structured than exploratory research and involves quantitative data collection methods such as surveys, observations, and secondary data analysis. This design is useful for startups to understand the demographics, preferences, and behaviors of their target market, as well as to measure market potential. Causal research design. Causal research, also known as explanatory research, seeks to determine cause and effect relationships between variables. This design is highly structured and often involves experiments or longitudinal studies. For startups, causal research can help in understanding how changes in one variable, example price, affect another variable, example sales volume, thereby aiding in decision-making related to product development, pricing strategies, and marketing campaigns. Selecting the appropriate design for your research questions. Selecting the appropriate research design is crucial for obtaining valid and reliable results. The choice of design depends on several factors. Nature of the research question. Determine whether your research question is exploratory, descriptive, or causal. For example, if you are looking to understand the underlying reasons for a trend, an exploratory design is appropriate. If you aim to quantify attributes, a descriptive design is suitable. For investigating cause and effect relationships, choose a causal design. Objectives of the research. Clearly define what you aim to achieve with your research. If your goal is to generate new ideas or hypotheses, exploratory research is best. If you want to profile your target market, use a descriptive approach. For testing specific hypotheses about relationships between variables, opt for causal research. Availability of data. Consider the type and availability of data. Exploratory research often uses qualitative data, while descriptive and causal research typically rely on quantitative data. Ensure that the data required for your chosen design is accessible and reliable. Resources and constraints. Evaluate the resources available, including time, budget, and expertise. Exploratory research can be less resource-intensive, while descriptive and causal research may require more extensive data collection and analysis. By carefully considering these factors, startups can select a research design that aligns with their objectives and resources, thereby ensuring that the research yields meaningful and actionable insights. 1.3 Formulating research questions. Identifying and articulating research problems. The first step in any research project is identifying and clearly articulating the research problem. This involves recognizing an issue or opportunity that requires investigation. For startups, research problems often stem from the need to make informed decisions in areas such as market entry, product development, or customer acquisition. To identify research problems, consider the following approaches. Literature review. Review existing research and publications related to your industry. This can help you identify gaps in knowledge or areas that require further exploration. Stakeholder feedback. Engage with stakeholders, including customers, employees, and investors, to gather insights into potential issues or opportunities. Business metrics. Analyze your business metrics and performance indicators to identify areas that need improvement or further investigation. Once the research problem is identified, articulate it clearly and concisely. A well-defined research problem sets the direction for the entire research process and ensures that the study remains focused and relevant. Developing clear and actionable research questions. Research questions are the specific queries you want to address through your research. They should be clear, focused, and actionable, guiding the data collection and analysis processes. Here's how to develop effective research questions. Be specific. Ensure that your research questions are specific and narrowly defined. Broad questions can lead to unfocused research and inconclusive results. Be measurable. Frame your questions in a way that allows for measurable outcomes. This often involves defining the variables and metrics you will use to assess the answers. Align with objectives. Ensure that your research questions align with your overall research objectives and business goals. Each question should contribute to achieving your research aims. Consider feasibility. Assess the feasibility of answering your research questions within the constraints of your resources and timeline. Avoid questions that require data or resources that are not accessible. For example, instead of asking, "How can we improve our product?" A more effective research question would be, what features do customers value most in our product, and how can we enhance these features to increase customer satisfaction? By developing clear and actionable research questions, startups can ensure that their research efforts are focused and productive, leading to valuable insights that can inform business decisions. 1.4 Ethical considerations in research. Understanding ethical issues in business research. Ethical considerations are paramount in business research to ensure the integrity of the research process and the protection of participants. Ethical issues can arise at various stages of the research, including data collection, analysis, and reporting. Common ethical issues in business research include informed consent. Participants should be fully informed about the purpose of the research, the procedures involved, and their rights as participants. They should voluntarily consent to participate without any coercion. Confidentiality. Researchers must ensure the confidentiality of participants' information. This includes protecting personal data and ensuring that individual responses cannot be traced back to the participants. Anonymity. To further protect participants, researchers should anonymize data where possible, ensuring that individual identities are not disclosed. Avoiding harm. Researchers should avoid any actions that could harm participants, whether physically, psychologically, or financially. This includes avoiding invasive questions or procedures and ensuring that participation does not negatively impact the participants. Honesty and integrity. Researchers should conduct their work with honesty and integrity, avoiding fabrication, falsification, or misrepresentation of data. Conflict of interest. Researchers should disclose any potential conflicts of interest that could influence the research process or findings. Ensuring ethical compliance in data collection and analysis. To ensure ethical compliance in business research, startups should implement the following practices. Ethical review. Submit the research proposal to an ethical review board or committee for approval. This helps ensure that the study meets ethical standards and protects participants' rights. Informed consent procedures. Develop clear and comprehensive informed consent forms that explain the research purpose, procedures, risks, and benefits. Ensure that participants have the opportunity to ask questions and withdraw from the study at any time. Data protection measures. Implement robust data protection measures, including secure storage of data, encryption, and access controls. Ensure compliance with relevant data protection regulations, such as GDPR. Training for researchers. Provide training for researchers on ethical standards and practices. This includes understanding ethical guidelines, obtaining informed consent, and handling sensitive data. Monitoring and reporting. Establish procedures for monitoring ethical compliance throughout the research process. This includes regular audits and mechanisms for reporting any ethical concerns or breaches. By adhering to these ethical principles and practices, startups can conduct business research responsibly, ensuring the protection of participants and the credibility of their research findings. 1.5 Literature review. Conducting a comprehensive literature review. A literature review is a critical component of business research, providing a foundation for understanding the existing body of knowledge related to your research topic. It involves systematically searching for, evaluating, and synthesizing relevant literature to inform your study. Here's how to conduct a comprehensive literature review. Define your scope. Clearly define the scope of your literature review, including the research questions, objectives, and key topics. This helps focus your search and ensures that the review is relevant to your study. Search for literature. Use various sources to search for relevant literature, including academic journals, books, conference proceedings, and online databases. Keywords and search terms should be carefully selected to capture all relevant studies. Evaluate sources. Critically evaluate the quality and relevance of the sources. Consider the credibility of the authors, the rigor of the research methods, and the validity of the findings. Prioritize peer-reviewed articles and reputable sources. Organize the literature. Organize the literature thematically or chronologically, depending on the nature of your review. Use tools such as reference management software to keep track of sources and notes. Synthesize findings. Synthesize the findings from the literature, identifying common themes, gaps, and controversies. Highlight how your research will contribute to or build upon the existing body of knowledge. Write the review. Write the literature review, ensuring that it provides a coherent narrative that connects the existing research to your study. Discuss the implications of the findings and how they inform your research questions and objectives. Synthesizing existing research to inform your study. Synthesizing existing research involves integrating and interpreting the findings from multiple studies to provide a comprehensive understanding of the research topic. This process helps identify patterns, relationships, and gaps in the literature, informing your research design and methodology. To effectively synthesize existing research, follow these steps. Identify key themes. Identify the key themes and concepts that emerge from the literature. Group studies that address similar topics or research questions. Compare and contrast findings. Compare and contrast the findings from different studies, noting similarities and differences. Consider the context, methodology, and sample characteristics that might explain variations in results. Highlight gaps and limitations. Identify gaps and limitations in the existing research. This includes areas that have not been extensively studied, conflicting findings, and methodological weaknesses. Develop a conceptual framework. Use the synthesized findings to develop a conceptual framework that guides your research. This framework should illustrate the key variables, relationships, and hypotheses that your study will explore. Align with research objectives. Ensure that the synthesized literature aligns with your research objectives and questions. Use the insights gained to refine your research questions, design, and methods. Cite appropriately. Properly cite all sources used in your literature review, following the appropriate citation style. This not only gives credit to the original authors but also strengthens the credibility of your review. By conducting a thorough literature review and synthesizing existing research, startups can build a solid foundation for their research projects, ensuring that their studies are grounded in the current body of knowledge and contribute to advancing the field. This comprehensive content for Module 1 provides a detailed understanding of business research, covering its significance, research design, formulation of research questions, ethical considerations, and literature review. This foundation is crucial for startups to make informed decisions and successfully navigate the challenges of the business environment.